G'day, this is part one of my Core Web Vitals series. Today I'm talking about LCP, which is Largest Contentful Paint, and just explaining what this is and how we optimize your site for it. So firstly, Largest Contentful Paint means the amount of time that it takes for the biggest element that appears on your screen when it first loads. How much time does it take for that piece to load? So maybe you have a large image that's at the top of your page, or maybe you have a big headline, you've got a slider, which you shouldn't have, but you might. So whatever it is, the biggest element that appears on the screen. And keep in mind, this is just the top part of your screen that loads before users scroll. So before a user has to interact with it, it's called above the fold. You can see exactly what part of your website is like that by going to Page Speed Insights and running the Page Speed Insight tests that Google's got there. And it will actually show you a thumbnail of the screen that they are seeing with their testing tool. So the largest element that appears in that viewport, so the amount of time that it takes to load that, is your LCP. The way we can optimize your site for LCP is firstly just making sure you don't have a lot of big heavy elements appearing at the top of your page. So a lighter, simpler site is obviously going to load faster, but also you can lazy load, which means that bigger elements like large photos and things like that can appear further down the page and load after that first experience. So at least your website loads and is interactive as quickly as possible, and then other larger pieces of media and things can load later on as the user scrolls down the page. Another thing to keep in mind is it's the amount of time that it takes for that large element to load isn't just about that element. It can also be delayed by things like your how responsive your server is, how much server resources you have, how far away your server is from the user, things like the amount of scripts and CSS that need to load on the page before we can even start loading that element. So there's a lot of things to be done. Also caching helps a lot with this. So there's a lot of factors that come into play with this LCP score, but one of the big ones is obviously the design and layout of your page. So there's a few things we can do there. If you want help with optimizing your website's LCP, you can head over to TunedWP and get a performance audit, and we can suggest some improvements for you. If you're not sure if it is a problem, check out your Google Search Console and check for any errors there, or you can run a Page Speed Insights report. Hope this has been helpful. Cheers.